Good evening, this is Antonio, Whiskey Alpha 3 Alpha Hotel Charlie. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, the weekly amateur radio net is tonight, because it's Monday. And yeah guys, we will wait for the thing to start. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and subscribe to my other channels. And click the notification bell and comment down below. But yeah guys, we'll wait for this to start. And I'm pretty excited. Okay.
Check W30N, Alpha Operator W30C, net control for the Two Rivers Amateur Radio Club net.
Here we go.
Net beats every Monday here at 8 p.m. on 146.73 MHz. WA3PVD repeater if you get way up from association. Membership in the Two Rivers ARC is not required to check it as all radio amateurs are welcome. If you'd like information about the Two Rivers ARC, you can write to us at P.O. Box 225, Greenville, PA, zip code 15047. We're also on the internet worldwide web at www.trarc.net. www.trarc.net. Radio Club meetings are held on third Tuesdays every month, except July, August, and December, starting at 7 p.m. Recent meetings are being held at the Da Vinci Pizzeria, 1515 Washington Boulevard, in Portview, PA. That's in the suburb of McKeesport. Open this net for check into an emergency or priority traffic at this time. Anybody have listening to a silent key near radio amateur recently passed away? Okay, not heard. Hey, I'm going to take some check here in a moment. When you check into the net, keep your call sign slowly and phonetically. Spell out your call sign. Let me know if you have any comments or announcements for the net. At this time, I'm looking for any officers of the Two Rivers ARC wish to check in.
W30C. Please copy. Kilo Bravo 3, Uniform Whiskey Charlie. Stephen Boston. Good evening, Chuck, and everyone else on the net. Please recognize November 3, Hotel Bravo Mobile. Unfilled. Good evening, everyone. No traffic.
Kilo Bravo 3 Uniform Whiskey Charlie, November 3 Juliet Hotel Bravo Mobile, and the other members of the Two Rivers ARC Board of Directors wish to check in. Okay, not heard? Alright, non-link free stations are operating mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County.
W30C, please copy. Kilo Charlie 3, Papa X-ray Uniform, Portable in Elizabeth Township. W30C, Whiskey Alpha 3, Bravo Oscar Juliet, 10 Squirrel Hills, Portable. Good evening to you, Chuck, and to the net, no traffic. W30C.
Hey, my turn.
Kilo Alpha 3, Kilo Sierra Papa, Jim Portable in Carnegie. W30C.
This freaking.
This is Kilo Alpha 3, Kilo Echo Victor. William Plum. Good evening, Chuck. W30C, WA3PVD, Andy on the portable in West.
W30C. Here's Kilo Alpha 3, Zulu Japan Whiskey, Dave Portable in Plum. Good evening, Chuck. No comments.
W30C. Whiskey Alpha 3, Alpha Hotel Charlie, Antonio from Pittsburgh. Good evening to you, Chuck, and those on the net. No further comments.
W30C. Here's Kilo
They didn't get me
Bravo
this time.
3, Victor Sierra Papa, Dan out here in Beaver County. Good evening, Chuck. Good evening to the net. W30C.
I'm not sure if they got me that time.
Please
So,
copy
I'll go
Kilo
again.
Bravo 3, Oscar X-Ray Hotel, Bill, Hancock County, West Virginia. Evening, Chuck. W30C.
Ugh. Oh, wait.
This is Whiskey Uniform 3 Uniform. Kurt and Elizabeth, no traffic.
W30C. Whiskey Alpha 3 Alpha Hotel Charlie. Antonio from Pittsburgh. Alright. They got me.
Okay, everybody stand by. Here's what I got. Kilo Charlie 3 Papa X-ray Uniform Papa, Papa Portable. Whiskey America 3 Bravo Oscar Japan Portable. Kilo Alpha 3 Kilo Sugar Papa Portable. Kilo Alpha 3 Kilo Echo Victor Portable. Whiskey America 3 Papa Bravo Delta Portable. Kilo Alpha 3 Zulu Japan Whiskey Portable. Whiskey America 3 Alpha Hotel Charlie Portable. Kilo Bravo 3 Victor Sierra Papa. Kilo Bravo 3 Oscar X-Ray Hotel. And Whiskey Uniform 3 Uniform Portable. Anybody else? Mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County?
W3OC, please copy Alpha 3 Oscar Zulu in Waco. You're in Waco. No comment, Chuck. Good evening. You and that.
Okay, got Alpha 3 Oscar Zulu. Okay, now we'll open up for general check it. Anyone else like to check it as done so? Call now.
W3OC. This is November 3 Papa OC uniform. Checking the South Hills. Hello, checking over on the net. W3OC. W3OC, please recognize Kilo Charlie 3 India Romeo Golf. This is Ed McKeesport. Good evening, Chuck, and everyone on the net. No comments. W3OC. This is November Uniform 3 Quebec. NU 3Q. Have traffic tonight for the net. W3OC. Here's Kilo 3 Hotel India Romeo. Earl and Elizabeth Township. Good evening, Chuck. No comment. W3OC.
Good evening. 8:07 p.m.
Okay, that time I got in November 3 Papa Sierra Uniform, Kilo Charlie 3 India Radio Golf, November Uniform 3 Quebec with announcement, and Kilo 3 Hotel India Radio. Anybody else?
W3OC. W3OC, copy K3 SJL, Kilo 3 Sierra Juliet Lima. Sean, West Mifflin, no comment or traffic.
W3OC. Please copy Kilo Alpha 3 Foxtrot Whiskey Quebec. Jeff and Greensburg. Good evening, everyone. No traffic.
W3OC. W3OC, please copy Kilo Bravo 3 Lima Juliet Yankee. Jeff Plumborough, no traffic. W3OC. Please copy Whiskey Alpha 3 Echo Radio Tango. Denison Unity Township. No traffic. Good evening to all.
Okay, that time I got Kilo 3 Sugar Japan Lima, Whiskey America 3 Fox Wilson Quebec, Kilo Bravo 3 Lima Japan Yankee, and Whiskey America 3 Echo Radio Tango. Anybody else? Alright, we'll stop there at that point. I have a news line to broadcast set up on the computer. We'll play that in a little bit. Some general announcements. Two Rivers activities. We still have the super raffle going on. That's due to finish up here soon, hopefully. Because they get all the tickets sold. There's not too many left, from what I've been told. Anybody who wants to take a chance on the super raffle, the winner can receive an HF transceiver. I think it's an Icon 7610 PTX 101D or a Kenwood transceiver 890S, I think it is, for cash price. Anybody interested in that should contact the coordinator, Adele, W3 Delta Tango Papa. You can reach Adele by phone, 412-398-1092, 412-398-1092, or email to petersondt at verizon.net, petersondt at verizon.net. Also, our next club meeting is coming up on October the 12th. No, I'm sorry, that's wrong. October the 20th at 7 p.m. at the Da Vinci Pizzeria, 1515 Washington Boulevard in Portview, PA. That's in the suburbs of the Eastport. Okay, that's kind of what I got for announcements. So this time, turn over to Bob, NU3Q from W3OC. Go ahead.
W3OC, W3ON at the helm, this is NU3Q. Yeah, Jack, I already know about that link being not activated on the KDKA 100 website. Rest assured that will be addressed. The gentleman that's doing the website just put it up about almost about a half a month ago, and it's a work in progress, but it's getting there. And what I was talking about there is our upcoming special event station to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the KDKA radio. I sent out a press release today, and the website is www.kdka100.org. That is the website. Our historian is doing a fantastic job of getting all the information called together. He's been persisting through a long...
Hey, hold on, guys. I need to check some previous audio real quick. I'll resume this ASAP. Okay, guys, I'm back. Sorry for that little delay.
November 12th, 13, and 14 that weekend. The second weekend in November, we're going to be in operation in Saxonburg. One is being worked out right now for the original transmitter site out Westinghouse Lodge in Forest Hills. And I'm trying to work on secure some other sites too as well, so as time goes on, we'll have more information for you folks. But in the meantime, please listen for us in the air, and if you want a copy of the press release, email me, allegheny@whiskeypapa-arrl.org. I'll be glad to send it your way. Back to you, Chuck, NU3Q.
Thank you, Bob W. NU3Q from W3OC, and I control for the Two Rivers Net. Thank you. Thanks for the information on that. I do have a copy of the press release here. I printed it out for myself and sent it over to the club member, Two Rivers members, by email. And I've also posted, Bob, you don't know this, but I posted a copy of it up on the Two Rivers ARC website, www.trarc.net, on the main page at the very bottom. It's a PDF file. I have to look at the very bottom of the web page to find it. So anybody wants to look at that, they certainly can. That sounds like a very good affair. I did see the announcements in the November QST, Bob. I don't know if you've seen that or not, but the suggested frequencies in the QSL information has also been posted up there. So it should be a good affair. Hopefully, it looks like about 3 or 4 of the radio clubs I think in the area are working on that. So it should be a lot of fun, I think. Okay. Anybody got any questions for Bob before we continue? Okay, none heard. Alrighty. Okay, let's see. I don't have any other more announcement. That was the big one tonight that announced. That just came out today in the press release. Bob, thank you for you and Bob Bastone, WC30, for preparing that and getting information on it. Okay, all right. Don't have any more announcements. Two Rivers activity stuff's all covered. Let's see. So I guess we'll flip in the news line, see what's new with the news line. I know they have an article up there about the loss of the 3.5 gigahertz band. I haven't actually heard it yet, but of course we talked about that during last week's net that the FCC had voted to strike that from the amateur radio use of that band. Okay, there's no starting date or anything on it yet, but it's in the works. Let me see what Levi's got tonight. W3OC.
Radio Newsline Report number 2241 with the release date of Friday, October 9th, 2020 to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. Orlando Hamcation is canceled. Scouts prep for Jamboree on the air. And radio ambassadors reach out to kids in California. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2241 comes your way right now. From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's first independent on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now reporting from Charleston, West Virginia, here's Jim Dameron in a TMW. We begin this week with word that Orlando Hamcation has become the latest in a long line of canceled amateur radio events around the world. The news came in a joint statement from the ARRL and Hamcation organizers on the ARRL website and on Twitter on Monday, October 5th. The annual event, which was also to be the ARRL National Convention, has been moved to February 2022. Tickets already purchased can be used for Hamcation 2022, can be donated to the Orlando Amateur Radio Club, or can be refunded. Meanwhile, the in-person event is being replaced by a variety of webinars, a QSO party, and some prize drawings for 2021. The event in Central Florida is among the nation's largest gathering points for hams. Reported attendance for this year was 24,200 over the course of the 3 days. In a move that was not unexpected, the U.S. Federal Communications Commission has eliminated amateur radio use on the 3.4 gigahertz band. Kent Peterson, KC0DGY, has that report.
Amateur radio will no longer have the use of frequencies between 3.3 and 3.55 gigahertz. The FCC has acted to reallocate that portion of the spectrum for use of 5G services. Its action during the meeting September 30th is part of a broader plan to make more of the spectrum available to commercial users by eliminating secondary user allocations such as ham radio operators. Hams and other users are being relocated to a band between 2.9 and 3.0 gigahertz on a secondary basis to federal government service operators. The FCC is now seeking comment on how to sunset amateur use on 3.3 to 3.55 gigahertz and to proceed with the relocation. The agency noted in a press release that its action is another move towards fulfilling a directive from Congress to free up spectrum for commercial and other purposes. The ARRL and AMSAT were among those who have spoken up against the move. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
The IARU Region 2 has made changes in how it will be handling band plan changes, approving a process that lets the band be updated more efficiently. Changes can now be made in response to adjustments in operating practice, in consultation with member societies. Previously, all band plan changes required approval at a General Assembly, which is held only once every 3 years. The new plan also includes the addition of an amateur satellite uplink subband between 21.125 megahertz and 21.450 megahertz on a non-exclusive basis, matching the band plans in IARU Region 1 and 3. Finally, the revised band plan added wording to make it clear to national regulators that compliance with the document is voluntary, and some nations may adjust their practices based on their region's requirements. The Jamboree on the air is coming up fast, but some scouts living down under got a head start on the excitement. Graham Kemp, VK4BB, tells us about them.
Scouts in Australia who were growing a bit impatient for the start of the worldwide Jamboree on the air this month received a sampling a few weeks earlier. The friendship and communications ham radio is known for. Scouts in Australia who were enjoying school holidays were able to connect across the country as part of a special Echolink event held from Sunday the 27th of September to Sunday the 4th of October. The CHOTA special event took place on the Scout VK conference server, which was established earlier this year by the Victorian Scout Radio and Electronic Services Unit. The conference server has also been in place for Scouts to host nets. Now, with the special event concluded, Scouts await the Jamboree on the air and Jamboree on the internet. That's coming up fast. It takes place from the 16th to the 18th of October. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Grant Kemp, VK4BB.
Yes, it is almost time for Jamboree on the air and Jamboree on the internet, and Bill Stearns, NE4RD, gives us those details.
Radio Scouters are getting ready for the world's largest scouting event just 1 week away. Jamboree on the Air and Jamboree on the Internet on October 16th through the 18th local times. With current COVID-19 guidelines varying from state to state and country to country, this year's event will no doubt be somewhat of a challenge. With the guidelines in place, we have definitely seen a decrease in planned participation, and as such, we only have 4 call areas with reserved K2BSA call sign usage. Mark Hughes, KG4VWE, will be activating K2BSA Portable 4 in West Point, Georgia at the Chattahoochee Council Fall Family Camp. David Mulvey, K5DCM, will be activating K2BSA Portable 5 in San Angelo, Texas, with a location of to be determined. Brandon Arias, KM6WZB, will be activating K2BSA Portable 6 in Riverside, California at Mount Rubidoux. Lori Abraham and Robert Crow, KA8CDC, will be activating K2BSA Portable 8 in Wheeling, West Virginia at the Samcrest Scout Reservation. Registration for Jota Jotai is located at jotajotai.info this year. Please communicate your intentions for your activity with your local district and council for any approvals needed under current guidelines in your area. For more information on this and radio scouting, please visit our website at k2bsa.net. For Amateur Radio Newsline and the K2BSA Amateur Radio Association, this is Bill Stearns, NE4RD.
Hams around the United States were on high alert on Saturday, October 3rd, and if the situations they faced felt a little unreal, that's because they were. The carefully scripted emergencies were part of the drill for the simulated emergency test of the Amateur Radio Emergency Service. Christian Kudnick, K0STH, has that story.
From Bedford County, Pennsylvania to Cherokee County, Georgia, and beyond, emergency suddenly seemed real as first responders and amateur radio operators played it for keeps in the simulated emergency test. The scenario there was a search for missing hikers in the woods. Lloyd Roach, K3QNT, Public Information Officer for the Bedford County Amateur Radio Society, told WTAJ News that it was a chance to polish coordination skills with the area's firefighters, fire chiefs, police, and even the search and rescue teams. Hams in northern Florida responded to a simulation in which excessive heat taxed the power grid, prompting the state to begin rolling blackouts. The focus there was a response to heat stroke patients and individuals with critical needs requiring hospital transport. In Georgia, the Cherokee Aries Group tackled a simulated earthquake rocking the state. Hams in Eau Claire, Wisconsin responded to flooding evacuations and illness from polluted water. Aries members in Hawaii deployed MCOM stations for a simulated hurricane, communicating with shelters providing assistance. In the days following the simulated emergency test, organizers are expected to assess the activity and uncover any weaknesses in procedures and communication to better prepare for the real thing. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Christian Kudnick, K0STH.
A New Jersey amateur radio operator who was a leader in the radio community has become a silent key. Steve Ostrov, K2SO, Northern New Jersey Section Manager, died of cancer October 2nd. Steve became Section Manager in 2019 and had previously served in the position in 2016 to 2017. Steve Ostrov was 74. Hams who operate portable and even those who don't are always in search of the perfect power source. Researchers are too, and Kevin Trotman, N5TRE, tells us about some findings from scientists in Arkansas.
Physicists at the University of Arkansas have created a circuit that they say can harvest the thermal motion inside graphene, an electrically conductive form of elemental carbon. And it turns into low-voltage electrical current to power sensors or small devices. They also say the power is clean and limitless. They created a circuit by using 2 diodes to convert AC to DC. The pulsing DC current performs work on a load resistor. The researchers claim the diodes have a symbiotic relationship with the graphene and increase the circuit's power. They believe that this project has proven that graphene's thermal motion at room temperature induces an alternating current in a circuit, an achievement that some physicists have said is not possible. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Kevin Trotman, N5PRE.
Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the K288 repeater in Ocala, Florida, on Fridays and Saturdays at 7 p.m. local time. Newly licensed hands in the UK are finding videos to be an increasingly valuable tool in the shack lately. Jeremy Booth, G4NJH, has more on that story.
The Radio Society of Great Britain is taking amateur radio back to basics in the hopes of helping beginners. The Society has produced a 6-part series of videos for the thousands of new Foundation license holders who were successfully tested via remote invigilation but were not required to take practical assessments. That's where the videos come in with their practical advice and a look on how to do things hands-on. Amateurs such as Rob, N0VFC, Rob, G0FGX, and Dan, MWMUT, take the beginners through the basics of setting up a station and making that first contact on FM and SSB. Other videos show how to adjust an antenna's length for the lowest SWR and how to use an antenna matching unit or tuner. Another video introduces the digital modes. For hams who would prefer to view all the basics in one setting, the Society has also produced a full 30-minute video highlighting all 6 skills. All the videos can be seen at rsgb.org/foundation-practicals. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
There's something to be said for proximity. The planet Mars is approximately 38.59 million miles from Earth, according to NASA, its closest approach until 2035. That means NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter is close by too, relatively speaking. The orbiter, which flies just 274 kilometers, or 170 miles, above the surface of the planet, communicates with deep space network antennas on the Earth via radio. Recently, however, Scott Tilley, BE7TIL, reported he picked up its signal too, using a 60-centimeter dish in his backyard in British Columbia. Tilley, who is also a satellite radio enthusiast who hunts lost zombie satellites and spy satellites, is calling it a close encounter of the best kind. If you find yourself feeling a bit like royalty when you're in your shack, consider the King of Thailand. He is royalty, and now he's feeling like an amateur radio operator, because he is one. Jason Daniels, DK2LAW, has that story.
Thailand's King Maha Vajiralongkorn, officially known as King Rama X, received his crown in May of 2019. Now he's also got an amateur radio call sign. On the air, His Majesty is known as Hotel Sierra 10 Alpha. At a ceremony held recently in Bangkok in the Dusit Palace, the King received donations of an ICOM IC 7300 transceiver for HF and an ICOM 9700 for VHF UHF. He also received a variety of antennas and other equipment for the Royal Shack. The advanced class license and the call sign became his on September 24 at a ceremony attended by the nation's communications regulator, the NBTC Secretariat, represented by General Sukhin Kamasundara and the Royal Amateur Society of Thailand, under the royal patronage of His Majesty the King, led by its President Jack Ree and Tomcom, Hotel Sierra 1, Fox Victor Lima. Be listening on the air for the call sign Hotel Sierra 10 Alpha. That's not just the new call sign of the King of Thailand, but the patron of the nation's radio society. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jason Daniels, VK2LAW.
Sometimes the best introduction to ham radio is non-ham radio. One club in California is counting on that, as Ralph Squillaci, KK6ITV, explains.
The El Dorado County Amateur Radio Club hopes that having a booth at the recent National Night Out in Pollock Pines, California, was compelling enough to give people a good impression about ham radio. But just in case, the club brought along something perhaps even more compelling, some radios to give away. No, these weren't amateur radios, they were the low-power, license-free Family Radio Service, or FRS, handhelds, used often by hikers and campers and, the club hopes, kids. Youngsters won the radios in drawings the club held at the October 3rd event and were soon on the air, spelling out their names in the International Phonetic Alphabet. These are the same kind of handhelds used in combination with GMRS radios in the local Neighborhood Radio Watch public safety program the club implemented. The club's public information officer, Alan Thompson, W6WN, told Newsline that its Neighborhood Watch has, quite unexpectedly, become a potent recruiting tool for new hams. Sometimes, after all, starting with low power can make a high power impression, especially with the youngest future radio operators. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Ralph Squillaci, KK6ITV. In the world of DX, be listening for Takei JG8NQJ using the call sign JG8NQJ/JD1 from Marcus Island in the Minami Torishima group starting on the 14th of October through mid-January 2021. He'll operate in his spare time mainly on 17 meters, but will also be on 20, 15, 12, 10, and 6 meters using CW and possibly RIDI. QSLs to JA6CJY or by the Bureau to JG8NQJ. There are also some special events marking the 75th anniversary of the United Nations. In Austria, members of the Amateur Radio Contest DX Club 4U1A are using the call sign 4U75A from Vienna until the 31st of December. Be listening on 80, 40, 20, and 15 meters where they will be using CW and SSB. Send QSLs to UA3DX via the Bureau or direct. In the United States, members of the United Nations Amateur Radio Club, station 4U1UN, is on the air as 4U75UN to celebrate the opening of the General Assembly and UN's 75th anniversary. The operation is being done remotely. Send QSLs to HB9BOU. QSL cards for 4U75UN have been ordered. Watch for updates on the club's Facebook page. Now, in our final story, we hear of one professional communicator who used the pandemic as an opportunity to become an amateur communicator. With that story is Ed Durant, DD5LP.
On the technology website known as the Pledge Times, the correspondent in Spain is known as Rainer Vandler. He is known on the air, however, as Echo Alpha 4 Hotel India Hotel. The professional communicator decided recently that these pandemic times served as a good opportunity for becoming an amateur communicator too. In an October 1st article he wrote on the website, I used the lockdown to work my way through Ohm's law, through circuits, antenna technology, and abbreviations such as CPT, IARU, or VHF. After passing the exam, I am now in one of the oldest virtual communities, the 3 million amateur radio operators worldwide, 31,500 of them in Spain. The Pledge Times describes itself as an online publication that reports on new discoveries and advances, keeping readers plugged into a world that is constantly in flux and advancing. Of course, as Rainer himself acknowledges in his article, not everything is about megabytes and megabits. There's always room for some megahertz. He writes, now I chat without the internet, just like that, over the airwaves. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Ed Durant, DD5LP.
With thanks to Alan Thompson, W6WN, Amateur News Weekly, AMSAT, DARRL, Bob Ringwald, K6YBB, Clay Today, CQ Magazine, David Bihar, K7DB, the FCC, Hamcation, IARU Region 2, Ohio Penn DX, PHYS.org, The Pledge Times, QRZ.com, the Radio Society of Great Britain, Scouts Australia, shortwaveradio.de, Southgate Amateur Radio News, Space.com, TechExplorers.com, Ted Randall's QSO Radio Show, WTWW Shortwave, WTAJ, WQOW, and you, our listeners, that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. Please send emails to our address at newsline@arnewsline.org. More information is available at Amateur Radio Newsline's only official website at arnewsline.org. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the News Desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Jim Dameron, NATMW in Charleston, West Virginia, saying 73. And as always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright
I don't have any more announcements or anything. Just remind Two Rivers members, don't forget the club meeting's coming up on October the 20th, and also this collection period is still ongoing till the end of the month. Hopefully you get that taken care of. Okay, with that, I'll take some late check-ins. Anyone else like to check in? That's so call now.
W3OC. This is KB3LNC. Lenny here in the mobile in the south side there. Good evening, everybody.
W3OC. Please copy Kilo Charlie 3 India Romeo Foxtrot. Bob here in Overbrook. Good evening here, Chuck.
W3OC. W3OC, please copy Whiskey 3 Sierra Hotel Foxtrot, Steve in Pitcairn Heights. Good evening, Chuck, and everyone else on the net.
W3OC. Copy November 3 Foxtrot Lima Radio 3FR Frank Mobile Harrison City. And comment for Chuck at the end of that.
Okay, got Kilo Bravo 3 Lima November Charlie Mobile, Kilo Charlie 3 India Radio Fox, Whiskey 3 Sierra Hotel Fox, and M3 Fox Lima Radio Mobile. Anybody else?
No, it's too much.
We'll close the net out this hour. Thank you. At 8:37 p.m. 37 UTC. I show 26 check-ins. I'd like to thank everybody who did check-ins this evening, or just listen to us on the side. That's okay too. Big thing is trying to get the information out, and we do that. Try to do that for sure. Okay, with that, we're going to turn the repeater back to general amateur use. Everybody have a good week, and please remember, if you haven't voted, try to get out there and get that little chore taken care of. It's rapidly approaching us, about 3 weeks out from the regular election. It's W3OC also, and that's W3ON closing the two rivers. That turn repeat back to general use. Thanks.
W3ON and 3 to 4. Hello. Hey, I guess you guys are having issues with...
Okay, so yeah, now normal people are just talking on the net now. Hey guys, that's it for today's video. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and turn on that post notification bell. And yeah, 73rd from Whiskey Alpha 3 Alpha Hotel Charlie. Peace.